Hello everyone, welcome to ABB Learning Tutorials. Today, this is my use case which I've created for performing a data extraction, cleansing, transformation, and data storage and visualization in GCP using our medallion architecture, wherein we are going to perform all the transformation operations and cleansing operations into the silver layer. There are 3 layers in medallion, if you're aware. Like, one is a bronze layer, then silver layer, and then the gold layer. So in the bronze layer, we are going to do what? In the bronze layer, we are going to extract the data and perform the data reading operations. Okay, this is my first step. Second step is data cleansing operation, which we are going to perform in silver layer. Again, the data transformation also I'm going to perform in silver layer. Okay. The last but not the least is data presentation, which we need to make it ready for the end users and the business stakeholders to view the results. All right, so how to do that? So this is our simple use case where I'm going to create a pipeline in the medallion architecture that will ingest the CSV file, a basic CSV file, which is for one of the sample files for the badges, which is being distributed and reported to all the participants and the customers who are accomplishing their goals and reaching a certain targets which they have set, or which is being set as a standard by the product, right, by the product viewers, right? So I have just tried to implement that particular scenario here for the badges. So for here, if you see, this is my file wherein we have certain targets like 5k, 5,000 steps, 5,000 miles, 10,000 miles, 15,000 miles, and so on. So once a person or a customer or a participant, any of the runners or athletes cover a certain goal, like they cover 5k steps number of times, like 100 times or 150 times or 200 times, then they are being awarded for the specific category awards, like 5k badges, which is in bronze, 5k badges for silver, 5k badges for gold, right? So this is the kind of a data we have, just to give you an overview. Okay, so this is my badge CSV file which we have. So before starting, we should import all the required libraries. So this is our objective. We need to install all the libraries. So what we need to install? We'll install pip install Pyspark from pyspark.sql.functions, import star, import matplotlib.pyplot as plot. Okay, so these are the basic libraries. As you know, I want to use the Pyspark framework over here with the Spark analytical engine, right, to perform all the analytical queries later on in the gold layer, and also performing all the SQL steps using the Pyspark itself, and using the SQL functions to cleanse my data set and perform the data transformations and implement all the required business needs in my data sets and the data frames. Okay, so how to do that? So for that, I've installed these few libraries. We've installed Pyspark from pyspark.sql, import functions, import star, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. So this is our visualization library, matplotlib.pyplot. Okay, now once this is done, I'm going to install the OS, import OS. Now you need to set up this environment for your queries, right? So os.environment java home user library, you just need to set up your configurations as per your convenience. Now from pyspark.sql, import spark session. So this is very important step. You need to import the spark session, else how you're gonna execute the queries. So for that, we need to import the spark session and create spark session. I'm storing all the configuration details into the spark over here, spark variable over here, you can say. Then dot builder, app name I have given boat use case demo by Ankita. Then config Spark UI, port you can give the port number as per your convenience. Then you have to get or create, whether you have to get your data frames from somewhere or your files, or you have to extract it from somewhere, like you have to extract it from any of the existing on-premise databases like Teradata, PostgreSQL, MySQL, or any other, right? So if you have that, get or create. Or otherwise, like for me, I have just imported this in the session itself, badges sample. So you need to make sure that this badges sample.csv is available, right? This will be available only for a session, but then if you need for a longer term, you should always save it in a storage like a GCP bucket or AWS S3 storage or Azure Data Factory, right? So as per your cloud scenario, you can do that. So for me, I'm using GCP, and this is a very convenient way for this session to execute and perform this demo session with you guys. Okay, now there is I'm importing other libraries, which is import pandas as PD and import numpy as NP. Why I'm importing these libraries? You know the reason. Pandas is gonna help me out to read all my files underlying files which in my storage space or in my file storage. Okay, so I'm going to read my first file, which I've imported it over here as badges sample. First you have to import it. Make sure you are importing it in your permanent storage itself for a long term. I just needed it for this session, so I have stored it in the session storage space itself. Okay, I don't need it afterwards. So now I have it on Google Drive. You can save it elsewhere as well. Okay, I also have it on the Google Drive. So here is my file. Okay, you can save it here in the Google Drive and then give the path over there. Now, so in order to read the file, I've created a data frame batches, data frame pandas, pd.read CSV, which is gonna read the CSV, give the path of the CSV, and then define the data type as str. Now, if I execute badges underscore df, I can see the details of my data frame. Okay, I can see the entire data inside this file. Now, if you say print your data frame, you can also print that. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Now the next command which I've executed over here is display. So if you want to see the schema, you can use two things. Either you can say badges, the name of your badges, that is badges df bronze, since I'm storing it in the bronze without performing any transformations or cleansing or performing any changes in the bronze schema. Okay, so I've stored the entire file inside bronze data frame badges data frame bronze dot print schema. So you can see the schema details, like all the column names with their specific data types. Like I've already defined it as string over here. Now you can also create a data frame from the existing one. How I've created this bronze, since we have already stored it earlier as badges df without any suffix in order to determine which particular file is it. So this is a raw file in the badges df. Now we have the badges df as a bronze data frame, which we have created using spark.create data frame command. Okay, now once this is done, you can again print your schema using print operation, and display, you can also use the display. Now here, one thing, if you have noticed or not, for all other I have the names of the specific columns with their data types, but here you see there are 3 unnamed also, right? Unnamed columns which just is stored as string. We don't need these, and if you check the data also, it is just coming as blank, so we don't need these columns at all. So these kinds of data cleansing operations we need to make sure and we need to perform, and we are also gonna remove these 3 columns and cleanse our data. Okay, so now I want to see the column names first. So because I'm totally confused. Okay, what is the name of this column? So I don't know if I use the display word, so I have specified using the column names. Okay, so column names, I'm storing the columns present in this data frame. So print column names, this is gonna give me the name of all the columns present. So here there is no name for these last 3 columns. Okay, so you can also do this using another method, which is display column names. Okay, so this is a beneficial thing. So you have it in a column format, vertical format. You get all the details. Now we clearly see that we need to remove these 3 columns. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the columns I need. So I've selected all the columns for now. I've selected first 5 columns. So if you want to specific columns for creating your views, you can also do that. The data frame name, that is badges df underscore bronze dot select column with their indexes. So I've given the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for selecting the first 5 columns. Okay, so I've selected these first 5 columns and given the show command. If you don't give the show command, you will get the hierarchy, or you will get to see again the schema. Okay, we don't want that, the schema, right? We already know the schema with the data types, so we want the results. So we want to see the data as well, right? So we have to give the show command. Okay, so we got this data for 5 columns. Now I want to overwrite and save it in a table. Okay, I want to store this data set or the data frame inside a table. How can I do that? I can do that using badges underscore df underscore bronze, the name of my data frame, dot write command dot mode, whether you want to insert, whether you want to update. If it is an existing one, you have to insert the data. If it is a new table, you can just create or update or append. If it is an existing one, you have to update or append mode you have to use, or you can also use the overwrite like I have used, right? And save as table. I've given the table name as badges sample bronze. Make sure the schema is the same for both. Okay, so right now this is a new table being created, so it is gonna create the table same as it is your data frame, as the schema present in your data frame. All right, so now if we want to see the details, how can we do that? Display, you have to use spark.sql as a syntax, as a command. Now select star from badges sample underscore bronze. So this is going to give me the, again, the schema. You see, it is not showing me the table. It is not showing me the data as well. So in order to see the data, what you need to do, you have to use the show command. Okay, so spark.sql select star from badges dot show. So this is gonna give you the entire table details which is present in your which table, new table, which is badges sample underscore bronze. So this is my first table in the bronze schema which we have created. Now we are going to perform the data transformation and cleansing operation on top of it. Okay, so how to do that? Now the objective is adding a new column, and I'm also going to add a new column to the existing data frame and removing the blank columns loaded by default, and then appending it in the existing table and saving it as well. So what I'm using, I'm creating a new data frame. I don't want to touch the raw data because maybe in future I also need it again. Okay, I can load it again. So whatever transformation I'm going to apply on the new data frame, so that whenever I need it, I can access that again and update my existing raw schema. So updated badge df bronze. So whatever updates are present, this is present in this data frame only. Okay, so badges df bronze, this is the existing bronze data frame. With column is used for adding new column. So I'm adding a new column here as batch description, and which is going to have the data type as literal string. Okay, so now if you want to see the details whether this new column has been added or not, what we are going to do, we are going to use the display, which one, the new data type, okay, the new data frame. Okay, so this is showing me, okay, the last one after unnamed 17, the 18th column, which is batch description, has been added. Okay, next is if I use the print command again, it is showing me again the entire schema of my new data frame. Now I want to drop the column. So I also want to store whether if in future I need them again sometime. So I'm storing it again in a data frame named as columns to drop, so that I can always check, okay, which columns were dropped earlier. Okay, maybe in new future I can need it. We can need that again. We may need it if there is a dependency on other teams, right? So we should always make sure our work is saved and we don't have to rework on the existing objects which we are creating, or which we are dropping, or which we are updating, or which we are deleting, or which we are enhancing. Make sure your things are always saved, so that it will automatically, you can go back to your code and add or modify your details. Okay, so columns to drop is gonna I'm specifying the columns I need to drop with their indexes. Like I want to drop column name 15, 16, 17 after having a look at the schema and the column names as well. Now once you have done this, now we want to create in the updated badges df bronze. So we want to drop these columns for data cleansing purposes, and we will store it where, in this new data frame, which is updated badges data frame bronze. So updated badges data frame bronze dot drop. What do you want to drop? I want to drop select star, like the star columns to drop, all the columns or whatever is present inside this data frame, which is columns to drop. So this is going to do what? This is going to drop all the 3 columns. Okay, so now if you see and you display, I've written two commands. I'm trying to display I'm trying to showcase the difference between both the data sets, between both the data frames, which we have, like one with the raw badges data frame bronze, and one which we have updated after dropping 3 columns from the bronze, that is the raw schema. Okay, so if you see the first one, display updated badges of bronze, updated badges df bronze, here you don't see unnamed 15, 16 and 17, where we have badge expiration date as the second last column and badge description as the last column. Now if I execute the second one, display badges of badge underscore df data frame underscore bronze, so here you see in the raw schema it still exists the 3 unnamed columns which we don't need, and there is no new column over here also, and the last column being the badge expiration date only. So we have not touched this data frame at all. We have made the changes in the updated one, so that any which ways if we need to reverse it back, we can always do it using this data frame. Okay, and even if we want to update anything, we can use it using this, right? So always make sure your work is easier to do, and do your coding in a systematic and a strategic format, so you don't have to rework it all. Next is updated badges df bronze dot create or replace temp views. So now I'm creating a temp view from where? From this updated data frame bronze, after we have applied the data cleansing operation, right? So I've given the name to my new view as badges sample view bronze, right? Now if I want to view this view any which ways, how can I do that? Again, using spark.sql command, select star from my view and show me the 10 columns. Okay, show me the 10 rows. So it is going to display all the 10 rows with the new column added. Okay, so new column, we have just specified the string. We have not performed any data transformation. We have just performed what? Data cleansing operation after adding and removing a column. We have added this column and we've removed 3 columns. So this is done. Now we can store this data in a view. Now from this view we can create our silver layer. Okay, so I'm going to do the same. We can use what? We can create a query wherein I'm going to add badges ID, badges name. I want 3 columns and count of the customer IDs as total customer who have earned the badges from badges sample bronze table, group by the first column and the second column, that is badge ID and the badge name. I can print that query, I can see the result. I can also use a display command like we did earlier. Now next is spark.sql. Now if you want to see the results from this table, you can always do the show command like we did earlier. Like I said earlier, spark.sql, select star from this table. Now in the silver layer processing step, we have already performed data cleansing and we are going to store it in a silver table and perform the data transformation again. Okay, so next step is the third step, which is data transformation. So data transformation and cleansing, performing data cleansing and saving the table in the silver layer with the suffix as silver for data frames. Like earlier we did it _bronze, now we'll do _silver for data frames and all the tables, and adding 1 column in the badges sample and removing 3 unwanted blank columns, saving it in the silver layer without interfering or disturbing your existing bronze table, creating the updated badges data frame bronze as temporary view for storing all the data. Okay, so badges data frame bronze dot write dot mode dot override save as table. Now I am going to save this view as what? As badges sample silver. So badges data frame silver, what is it gonna store? It is gonna store this data frame. I'm creating a data frame from a table now. Okay, I've created a table from my view, and now from this table I'm going to create a data frame inside the silver layer. So badges data frame silver is going to be spark.sql, select star from badges sample silver and show me the 10. So here you see the badge description is there. Okay, but there is no value over here. We have to add the descriptive value also. So this is data transformation which we are going to perform next. Okay, so how can I do that? So I am also looking at what? Display the schema for me, badges data frame silver, so that I can make sure whether my latest data frame in the silver schema is also updated with the new column and remove the existing columns or not. Okay, even if you are performing it from the bronze layer, you should always make sure to verify the existing ones in order to save your time and save your coding work. If one column is missed due to the wrong data frame name or by mistake you have left it, it will cost you a long term first in resolution and verifying the details. So make sure once you have created a new data frame, it has all the updated and the latest changes. It should be created from the latest view itself. So this is done. Next is if you want to see the results, right? Again, how can we do that in the silver layer? Again, from the silver table, spark.sql, select star from badges sample silver, show me the 10 rows only. So if it is showing me 10 rows now. Next is you can view this. We have already done this, right? Updated badges data frame. Now the objective is updating the values. Like I said, we are going to update the value of the badge description, which was no reward, right here. You see there is no value over here. We have to add the values and transform the values in the newly added column, which is badge description. How can we do that? So for doing that, what I'm doing over here is I've written updating the values in the newly added column and modifying and altering the existing values of the same. We have initially tried to modify it for top 3 values, which is for 5k bronze, 5k silver and 5k gold values for the badge description column, and verified the result in the below cell with the Python syntax and selecting only the relevant columns from the data frame to see and check the updates. Okay, so this is my, again, I'm not touching the silver data frame. I'm creating a new data frame, okay, for making any changes, and I'm storing all those changes in my updated data frame in the silver layer as well. So in the silver layer also, I'm not making any changes to the newly created view or the table until and unless I'm sure all the changes are looking fine. Okay, so I'm creating a new data frame over here so that even if I want to go back, I can reverse anything, even if there is a new change tomorrow, they want some other value other than what we have updated already. So we can always go back and do this. So this is going to help and save our time. So that's why I'm using this updated df badges silver conditional, because this happens a lot. Okay, every now and then there are a few changes and we have to do that and make sure we have to implement that. So badges data frame underscore silver dot width column have added our new column. Now I want to do what? I want to give the condition when column badge name is 5k bronze. Okay, when this is bronze, you see 5k badge gold, 5k badge silver, 5k badge bronze. So when this is the value 5k badge bronze, for which one badge name is this, do what? Add the literal as bronze. Okay, add the literal as bronze, otherwise no reward. So you see there is no reward because I've just updated for these three values only, 5k bronze, 5k gold and 5k silver. So that is why it is showing me no reward for others. Okay, and otherwise it's not doing it. So if you want to check the details, you can do what? Again, updated df silver condition, select column names. So I've selected 3 columns with the indexes: column 0 that is batch id, column 1 which is batch name, and the column 15 which is batch description, and show me 10 rows. So it is showing me 10 rows with the 3 updated rows for which we have written the code. Similarly, I've done it for all of them. Okay, so now if you select the same conditional dot select all the columns, show me 100 rows, it has done. We have transformed the data and updated all the values over here using the same code. Okay, for all these values. How we did that? Updating all the values for the newly added column batch description in the batches data frame silver, and modifying and altering the existing values of the same, and saving the changes in the new data frame. Updated data frame badges silver conditional, updating the values of the badges description column based on the batch name, and verify the results in the below cell with the Python syntax by selecting only relevant columns from the data frame. Updated data frame badges silver conditional to verify and check updates. Okay, so this is done. So we have performed first step, we have extracted the data, we have read the data, we have cleansed the data, and we have performed data transformation. Now it's the time to look at the updated view and updated data frame and create a new table in the silver layer so that we can move to the gold layer for the presentation. So display updated data frame badges silver. So this is going to show me my schema. Now if I'll do the print statement again, it is going to show me the same. Okay, now if you want to see the details, you can do what? Again, using the show command. Okay, so after data transformation, I want to see the details and the data set and want to store it in a table. So how can we do that? So I'm appending the data. Now it is my existing table, right? I've already created the table. Now I want to update that table with the new column, latest updates and new values. How can I do that? I can do that using the append mode or using the append function. Okay, so data transformation and cleansing in silver layer, saving the final modified results after performing data transformation in silver table by appending the updates from data frame updated df underscore badges silver into the new table as badges sample silver. So here, updated df badges silver conditional dot write dot mode append save as table. I'm saving it in badges sample silver. Okay, now I want to check the details in this table and the data also. How can we verify? Spark.sql select star from badges sample silver dot show. So if you go to the modified column, which is my last column, here it shows me no badge description is there, but the values are not added yet. So the values are only added for bronze, silver and gold for 5k. Okay, so we have to do what? We have to update this. Okay, so what I've done from update, create or replace temp view. So I've created a temp view over here as gold and I've added all the values here. So if you see, my gold view is the updated view because I've created the gold transformation and view creation for data transformation and view creation in the gold layer for my business users, for my end users, so that they can perform their business visualization task on any of the visualization tools or inside Python itself using Matplotlib and Skype and other libraries. So they can use Power BI, Tableau, whatever they have. Okay, so here we have spark.sql select start from badget sample view gold.show. So here you can see in the gold view we have created a view. How have we created the view? We have created the view from the updated silver layer, create or replace temp view, badget sample view gold. So this is my gold view. And now if you want to see the data, we have already created this view, and using this we can share this with our end users. So here I want to see why this is not coming, because there is here we have updated in this table, so we should use this one. Using this we should create the table, right? Updated batch df. So let's just quickly run this command again while we are creating the table. Badget sample silver. Let me just do this again. Just run this query again so that it was no reward. Now it should give me the results if I click on show. You see, earlier it was not working. Now if I ran this just now in front of you, instead of no reward, all the values are there. Okay, right? So we have updated all the values, and now this is my goal layer, which is my final view. So this is how you can also create a medallion architecture, wherein if it is incremental data, batch data, you can obviously create a notification over there in your GCP bucket, so that every time there is a new file, it should get loaded into your bronze data frame, and then you can execute the entire from bronze to silver to gold data cleansing operation and data transformation operation to reach your gold layer. So this is how I've created this for a sample file, and I hope you liked it. Do let me know if there are more comments and what else we can do with this. So see you later. Have a great day. Bye bye.